Dolan Memorial Fund for our Shining a Light series. Oh, boy, do I have just a heartwarming, inspiring story today to tell. I want to welcome to our show Miguel and Illiana Figueroa from Vineland, New Jersey.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having us.
Oh, happy you guys could be here. Boy, do you have such a special story to tell. Such a powerful message. Tell me a little bit about backstory on Toy Quest 101.
Yeah, so Toy Quest 101 is a show that inspires kids with autism and special needs. We're on YouTube, and the force behind the show is my beautiful daughter, Illiana. She has autism. She's 13 years old. We started the show about, give or take, 3 years ago. It all started because, one day she was on her tablet watching her favorite YouTube shows, something I never really did when I was young. I was always outside. It's kind of like a new generation type of thing.
Yeah.
And, I was watching it with her and I told her, hey, you should do your own YouTube channel, just playing around. She got really sad and she closed her tablet and she put her head down. And I was like, what's wrong? Immediately, I'm thinking somebody told her something. She was getting bullied. As a father, you start freaking out. I'm like, what's wrong? Why are you upset? She's like, well, I can't because I have autism. So that was the last thing on my mind that, a child of around 10 years old would tell me. So it broke my heart as a father. I wasn't expecting that at all. So at that time, I was, in the middle of remodeling my basement, which we call the studio now. And you could see some of the figures behind us. But, I grew up with pop culture, and that's something me and Illiana really shared the love for. We watch cartoons. I'm still a big kid, right? So we started our first show. So I wanted to show her, hey, you could do whatever you put your mind to. Don't let anything ever hold you back. So when we did our first show, she started talking. She started interacting more. Things that she was struggling with growing up with autism. And when we stopped the first show and ended it, me and her mom looked at each other like, what just happened? We saw a lot of interaction with her, a lot of things. I mean, our jaw was just down to the floor. We were so happy. She loved it. And then after that, we just decided together as a family, let's keep doing this. Let's, try to inspire others around the world to let them know that just because they have autism or any type of special need doesn't mean that they're not able to do something that they really want to do.
Oh my gosh, that is just amazing. You're kind of viewing, autism as a gift,
Yeah.
instead of a disability. And that's such a profound way to look at it. Illiana, what did it feel like in that first show for you?
I was very excited when I did the first show with my dad, and I was being like a lot happy.
I got a chance to get on and look at some of the videos. And first of all, you have over 110,000 followers on your show, which is pretty amazing.
Yep, 50 million views, over 118,000 subscribers. We have a lot of celebrity guests come onto the show as well, which is huge for us. That's 3 years.
I just watched the Harry Mack. I just watched the Harry Mack one, which was amazing, which was kind of like a game show, Mary's Toys. And that was just amazing to see how that plays out.
Yeah, Harry Mack is amazing. He's an upcoming freestyle rapper. He started his fandom and he's gone viral just on, going on the streets of Venice Beach in California, rapping with people. So for him to be on the show and support us, it's kind of like we're supporting each other, but he really liked what we were doing. And that was a major show for us. And the guy's super talented, very amazing person. So we were happy to have him.
Amazing. From what I've read, I see, Illiana, you kind of view your autism as a superpower, don't you?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
At first, I was scared and shy if I had autism. Then now I was maybe happy, like it's my superpower.
I love it. I love it. You know, one of my favorite Disney movies that has a lot of toys through it, through Pixar, is, you know, the Toy Stories franchise, right? And that brought all of these different characters to life, their personalities, and they were able to talk about their real emotions of feeling lonely or afraid or happy, and what it was like to make friendships and connect with the outside world. And I kind of view that in a way is the message that you're sending through your love of toys, and not letting living with autism, you know, hold you back in any way.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. The reason why we do a lot of pop culture stuff or Disney or things that are cartoon and stuff, because especially with comic books, if you look at the main media today, there's a lot of multicultural stuff, which is amazing, right? It's a big step towards movies and music and all kinds of stuff, cartoons even. But if you look at kids with autism or kids with special needs, there's really not a lot of stuff out there. If you look into the comic books, you have, for example, Daredevil, he's blind, right? Professor Xavier from the X-Men's on a wheelchair. So we love the pop culture, we love the comic book because they really were in the forefront of, having a representation for, kids with autism and special needs. So we like to combine that with what we do on the show, and we think it's really important. And that kind of gives us the power to do what we do on the show.
And you share my love of Stranger Things and
Yes.
Seven, which is, I'm wondering, Illiana, do you have a favorite as a teen girl? Do you have a favorite female superhero?
What's your favorite female superhero?
That's a hard one. Has to maybe be Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman's a good one. Gal Gadot.
Absolutely. That's a great franchise. It's such an inspiring message. I wonder, Illiana, what would you want to say to, someone maybe your age, or a girl or a boy out there that is living with autism and, maybe feels like they don't have a voice or a place that they fit in? What would you say to them?
Be confident and be the person that you want to move forward, and just be yourself like always.
Just be yourself. I love that. You're just talking about authenticity. That's just an amazing, amazing message. I see there's a little bit of love of wrestlers as well in your show.
Yeah. So funny thing, we obviously, I grew up with wrestling. She loves wrestling as well. One of our first celebrity guests is a female wrestler by the name of Sonya Deville. We got her on the show. She's actually a close friend of mine as well. But ever since she was born and started doing the show and stuff, Sonya has been really almost like her mentor, right? She's always checking up on her. She's always calling her. But it was important to have Sonya on the show because wrestling did a huge 360 as far as, what they do. So first off, they're a predominantly male sport. Back in the 90s, when I used to watch wrestling, the women really didn't take part in the actual wrestling. They were managers. They were looked at as like symbols, right? They didn't really do much. Now wrestling is giving them the platform to perform. They've been on pay-per-views. They've been to Saudi Arabia, which is unheard of, right? They've done so many things in the forefront to represent women all around the world. So when Sonya came onto the show, it's really important for us, not only because we're a fan of her, right, and her wrestling, but because she was in the mix of making that change, that historical change for the WWE, the wrestling franchise. And we talked a lot about that and, some of the hurdles she had to overcome and some of the things of pressure that she had to, come across when performing and stuff. But now she's a superstar and she's, she, like I said, she's been on the show multiple times. She was on the show just this past month for autism awareness last year. So it was really good to have her on. But we've had multiple wrestlers, Matt Cardona, Titus O'Neil, and Sonya Deville. So it's awesome that they come and support us.
Well, I love the story you tell about Sonya, because it's, you see the parallels in, what Illiana has maybe had to face in, her life. What kind of hurdles have you had to jump over, Illiana?
Being shy.
Yes.
That's one. Right?
Being shy. Before I did a show, once again, I was scared, and I get over it.
That's good. All right.
Yeah.
So she was shy before. She didn't really talk too much, and now the show has really not only helped her with her development, right? But she's actually being, an inspiration for other kids. So a lot of kids come up to her who don't normally talk or are really shy, or they write to us, and a lot of them feel like they understand where Illiana's coming from, and they see Illiana making that change and being brave and being, a support system for them, and that's what really we want to accomplish on our show. It's not, a lot of people ask us, hey, you got so many viewers and you've been on the news, you've had celebrities, but honestly, that's all great, right? We love it. We love every single bit of it. But if we could impact one child's life and make an impact that's going to change their life forever, that's really what the show's all about.
Well, and I think that's what you are, just making a difference, in your viewers, and engaging, people out there that may feel like they are just, alone, and have like a great idea or a passion or a hobby, and think that there's, really not a vehicle to share it. And you have just normalized that, which we need a little more of that. You are both. Especially Illiana, just an everyday superhero, in my book, and just so particularly inspired, in being a woman, and you being a teenager, how you're really changing the landscape and bringing some fun to it. I mean, the pop culture aspect, and mixing it up with celebrity guests, and just really sharing. You may bring viewers that come because they love that element of autism, but I'm sure you also have a lot of followers because they're just avid collectors of toys, and you really get into the details and what's kind of special. Partnerships with toy vendors world that are sending you kind of the newest, coolest products, which you review and share. So you reach so many different audiences with that, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of times people, because we have viewers from all around the world, it kind of amazes me sometimes. But we have viewers who watch our statue unboxings, which are, these big statues that are made of polystone that are pretty expensive. They run anywhere between $500 to $1,000, and they don't notice till after what our show represents, and then they love us even more because, like, wow, I was just watching this because I really want that Superman statue, but now that I know what your show's about, that's amazing. And then they start looking through our stuff, and they become even bigger supporters of ours. And with the celebrity guests, to us, it's very important to have celebrity guests on. It was a big goal of ours for a couple of reasons. One, it's fun, right? Because we have celebrity guests, and it's kind of cool to interview them, right? But two, the biggest thing for us is, so we have a platform on YouTube and other social medias, but some of our celebrities, well, all of them, have a huge platform, to sit and talk about autism awareness, or even some of the things that they've gone through, because we've had people like DMC on the show, Daryl McDaniels from the iconic rap group, and he talked about suicide awareness, depression, mental health, right? Those are all topics that we want to talk about. But like I said before, let's say if I have a child, right, that's at home in, let's say Australia, right?
Yeah.
And she's not verbal. She's not talking a lot, but she understands the love of music. And we have somebody like, let's say, I don't know, Kelly Clarkson on the show, for example. And Kelly Clarkson says, hey, no matter what you think is going on in your mind, you're beautiful, and you could sing and you could do what you want. And now all of a sudden, that little moment right there just made a huge impact in that little girl's life in Australia. That's going to change her life forever. And now all of a sudden she starts singing. And that's really the biggest reason why we love to have celebrity guests on the show, like DMC. DMC, when he was on the show, like I said, he talked about his comic books, his love for comics. Even though everybody knows him as a rapper, he did something that he wanted to accomplish that he couldn't when he was rapping, and now he did it. He talked about suicide awareness and how he kind of disappeared for years and nobody knew what happened with him. And he made a book of it. And a lot of viewers that watch reach out to us and like, man, I had no idea I'm going through the same stuff. Thank you for sharing that moment with us, And again, cool things happen. DMC rapped throughout the whole entire interview, and I started getting goosebumps because that wasn't scripted. I didn't know he was going to do that. And as a fan, right, because I'm more old school,
Yeah.
I started freaking out. And it's fun too, because a lot of times when we do the show, me and Illiana, I'll have somebody like DMC on, or we'll do something like comic books that Illiana has never seen because of her age, right? It's a different generation. And then she's, we go to the store and I let her pick out some blind bags and she does things that I have never seen. So I get introduced to her generation of things. So it's kind of fun. It's just an adventure in its entirety.
Well, and you're taking the stigma away from, topics that a lot of people aren't comfortable talking about or don't know what to say, whether it be, the whole genesis, the reason behind, why you started this, to make her feel as though she had a voice, that she was valued, to be confident that she could set her mind to accomplish anything in the world, and then to tackle other topics like, mental health, and other issues. And you do it through a platform where people don't realize it, through the arts, or something visual. It just creates a comfort level, I'm imagining, and people just start sharing their story.
Yeah, for sure. It's really important for us to kind of intrigue the viewer, right? Get them to watch and be comfortable and how we're doing things and talking about stuff. So it's really important for us to, even with the guest on the show, to make everybody feel comfortable. And even though the topic is sometimes sensitive, or sometimes, it's things that not everybody wants to talk about, we try to find a way to make everybody speak to it and be positive about things, no matter what the topic is. Because like I said, even though the show has to do with inspiring kids with autism and special needs, we had all kind of guests on the show to speak about, things that they're going through. And it's important for a father and a daughter. I could definitely say that I'm really proud of Illiana because, outside of our bubble, she's learning all the things out in the world that she might not run across, all the time. And she's being an advocate and a voice for a lot of these things, even though it doesn't really pertain to her. And a lot of people, like I said, write us, email us, and it's important for her and for me, for her to be kind, pay it forward, and be a voice for a lot of people who don't necessarily might not have a voice.
Yeah, you're just an incredible role model, for fathers out there. I just have to give that a shout out. You are providing the foundation and, giving Illiana the tools to dream, and be successful. And gosh, your story, this is, one of my favorite shining lights, that we've done. So
thank you.
Really appreciate you, being guests on our show today. And Illiana, I kind of want to give you the last word. If there's a family out there that might be listening, or a child that's maybe around your age, what would you want to say to them?
Just remember to be yourself. Don't give up what you are doing right now.
Love it. I love it. You guys are amazing. I'm hooked. I'm now a follower.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for being our guest today, and really keep up the good work that you're doing in the world.
Well, thank you for having us, and thank you for doing what you're doing. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. See ya.
See you guys.